Today we will be reading Tatanka and the Lakota People, a creation story illustrated by Donald F. Montileaux. As a precursor to this reading, I will try my best with the pronunciations, but I am no expert in the Lakota language. Introduction. This story is one part of the Lakota creation legend. It tells how Tatanka, the buffalo, came to the Lakota people, the Ikche Wakasa of this story, so that they would have food and warmth. The full creation story is made up of many parts and is much longer. It also tells how the sky, the earth, and the sea came to be. The Lakota people are American Indians from the Great Plains. They are often called the Sioux Indians. They have many important stories to tell. These narratives, which are told by the Lakota elders, help Lakota children understand the world in which they live. The stories have been told and retold for many generations. Traditionally, the elders passed legends down by word of mouth. Such storytelling is called oral history, or Ohan Kakan in Lakota. It has always been an important part of the Lakotas' lives. The details of the story can sometimes change depending on who tells the story and how often it is told, but the overall story remains the same from one storyteller to another and from one generation to the next. Many of these stories have now been written down so that more people can enjoy them. The characters in this story also appear in other Lakota legends. Iktomi, or Spider as he is sometimes known in English, has many tales told just about him. He is always a trickster, just as he is here. The great spirits, such as Skan, are also found in other legends. They control much of what happens in life. They were given names and shapes so that they would be easy to remember. A Lakota artist, Donald Montileaux, painted the pictures for this book. His paintings capture the power of the story of creation with dramatic colors and bold shapes. At the end of the book, he tells more about how he made the paintings. The original Lakota words for the story are presented next to the English words. The translation of one language into another is never perfect. Words in different languages do not always equal each other precisely. Sometimes there is no perfect word to match another one, and people have to make the words fit as best as they can. The great spirit Skan, who grew out of stone after the earth was made, created our ancestors. He took our bones from stone, our bodies from earth, and our souls from himself and wind and thunder. Sun warmed us. Wisdom gave us intelligence. Moon gave us affection. Revealer gave us longing and love for children. All their gifts gave us life. A council of the spirits decided our purpose, to respect and care for the spirits, and gave us our name, Te Oyate, Buffalo Nation. After the nation had lived for some time in the underworld, Spider, the trickster, sent Wolf to the strongest young man in the nation. Wolf told this young man, Tokahe, that life would be easy on the surface of Earth. Tatanka, the holy man, warned Tokahe not to go to the surface, but Tokahe and the people did not listen, and so they found passage to the Black Hills through Wind Cave. When the people found life on Earth hard, Spider laughed at their folly. But Tatanka, who had stayed in the underworld, saw our nation in a vision. We could not speak to the spirits. We had lost our language and had to invent a new one. We became Ikche Wakasa, the ordinary people. To help us, Tatanka came to Earth as a great, shaggy beast. He could speak directly with the spirits. He was willing to give up his life so we could have food, shelter, and clothing. And so, from the beginning, Ikchewakasa lived with the buffalo in the area around the Black Hills. A note from the illustrator. When I first started to research this story, I made a trip to Wind Cave in the Black Hills and walked around the entrance and the hole where the earth breathes. I had the storyline and the information from my ancestors. I talked to people on the reservation and to other educators and artists. I was fortunate in the fact that I am an Oglala Lakota and from the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota. The Oglala Lakotas believe that we surfaced from Mother Earth through Wind Cave, where we were saved by the buffalo and grew strong as a people. These illustrations are in a flat, two-dimensional style that reflects the style of the traditional buffalo hides painted by my ancestors. I used this style in honor of my ancestors and found that it worked well in telling the story. The drawings complement each other and, at the same time, each one can stand alone. Donald F. Montileaux, the illustrator of this book. Now, Wind Cave, in American Indian stories, Wind Cave is often called the hole that breathes cool air. This cave is near Buffalo Gap, South Dakota, and is now part of Wind Cave National Park in the southern Black Hills, a mountain range in South Dakota and Wyoming. Wind Cave is one of the largest and most complex caves in the world. Apart from strange winds, it features unique formations that look like honeycomb. If you like this book, some further reading suggestions include The Sioux Indians by Bill Lund and The Sioux Nomadic Buffalo Hunters by Rachel Kostler Grack. Thank you for joining us on Storytime today.